from the Asian Community Development Council. This is Family in Focus, Mondays at 12 noon on PHLV Radio.
Hi, everyone. Happy Monday. Welcome back to Family in Focus, presented by ACDC, or the Asian Community Development Council. I'm here live today with our special guest. She's been a repeat customer now for quite a few times. So welcome back, Dr. Maria Urbiztondo. She's a senior sales agent at Humana, and she's also a physician. So thank you so much for joining again, Dr. Maria, and talking about a very important issue that we're dealing with, not just the Asian American community, but also, the community in general, just in terms of dealing with the stress of everyday life. Obviously, we've come off a very challenging year, still tough for a lot of people out there. So you have some ways for people to, deal with this stress. And I've heard it from so many people, and especially Dr. Maria, with the Asian American community, we've been talking about resources for mental health, especially with all these issues of discrimination and violence out there. I'm sure you've heard of that as well, coming from your end, right?
Oh, definitely, Petrania. It's great to be back again. We at Humana are so happy to be community partners with ACDC, and we welcome any opportunity to help all our Asian American, Pacific Islander people who are living in Las Vegas and Nevada. So, yes, I have heard of a lot of instances, very stressful instances, especially affecting Asian Americans right now. And definitely we at Humana have compiled our resources, and we have ways and tips to help you battle stress.
So you have a presentation, I believe, that you want to share with us. And I think these are some great tips and resources you say that anybody of any age can use, right?
That's correct. Are we ready to start?
Yeah, let's go ahead and start and talk about this. So let's talk about, decompress, right? And from stress. So that's what we're talking about here.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Decompress from Stress, a presentation put together by Humana using a lot of resources, a lot of hospitals, and a lot of research. Mm-hmm. So again, my name is Dr. Maria Urbiztondo. I am a senior sales agent. Our main office is located on Warm Springs Road in Las Vegas. We at Humana want to help you with healthcare, especially your Medicare-related health needs. You can always contact me. My phone number is in the little red box on the screen at 702-773-9277. You can always reach me by email, murbiztondo@humana.com, and I speak both Spanish and Tagalog. Now, during this presentation, we will not replace your physician or professional health care. So please talk to your doctor before starting any new programs or regimens. We want to keep conversations to a minimum, and remember, this class is a safe zone. So again, check with your doctor or lawyer for any kind of issues you may have. This information is simply a general reference. Now, on our agenda today, we have 5 key things we want to talk about. First, we're going to talk all about stress. Then we'll talk about how stress affects the body. There are factors that impact the stress response, including we have 5 stress-busting tips. And finally, when should you seek help? Now, why do we need to talk about stress? According to the American Psychological Association's Stress in America report, more than 75% of adults report feeling some kind of physical or emotional symptom of stress. This report says that stress affects your sleep habits. Nearly half of adults reported lying awake at night because of stress in the previous month. Some personal stressors include work and money. When asked about personal stressors, about 6 in 10 adults, more than half of the adults in the United States, identified work and money as significant stressors in their lives. Well, people need more support. Nearly 3 in 5 adults say that they could have used more emotional support in the last year. And of course, with a pandemic going on, 2020 was a very challenging year for most people. Note that this 2019 report found that while the overall stress levels haven't changed significantly, the proportion or number of Americans experiencing the stress has risen. So what is stress? Stress is your body's response to something that disrupts your routine. Remember, your body likes routine and predictability. It wants to know what's going to happen next. When something throws your routine off and knocks you off balance, your body feels threatened. It reacts by provoking the fight or flight response. So you have two responses, fight or flight. Fight is when you see the little fishies all gathering up to fight that big, dangerous shark. Your body is getting ready to face head on what's coming its way. The second response is the flight response. When it sees something dangerous, like that dangerous shark on screen, your body will dissipate or go every which direction possible to avoid all the dangers that it sees. We at Humana know that support is just around the corner, and that's why we want to tackle stress head on. What causes stress? The event, person, or thing which causes the stress is called a stressor. A stressor is anything that makes you feel uncomfortable. Note, this can be positive or negative. It can be an event, person, or thing. The causes of stress can often be lumped into 3 categories. Number 1, routine stress, which is ongoing pressure related to work, family, learning how to use technology, or other daily responsibilities. Then, number 2 is sudden stress brought about by an abrupt change, like losing a job, gaining a job, divorce, or illness. And number 3 is traumatic stress. This occurs when your life is in danger, maybe a major accident or a disaster. We have other examples of common stressors, such as the death of a family member, divorce or marital separation, major injury or illness, job loss or retirement, moving into a new home, and financial issues. So when your body is facing this chronic stress, many parts of the body become overworked or underworked. What's the result? Well, physical and mental illness can result. Here are a few ways in which chronic stress affects the body. We have muscle tension, which includes headaches, an increased risk for high blood pressure, heart attack, or stroke, problems with the immune system, gastrointestinal problems, or a higher risk of anxiety and depression. Managing stress. Before you learn tips for managing stress, it's important to first identify your starting point. To do this, ask yourself the following questions. Number 1, what causes you stress? In other words, what are your stressors? Number 2, how does stress manifest itself in your body and mind? And number 3, how do you currently cope with stress? Here are some tips to help you reduce your stress. First, avoid unnecessary stress. Not all stress is avoidable, but you may be surprised how much stress you can eliminate with a little practice. Follow these steps to help avoid stress and stressors. Know the role you play. Many people think that stress is outside of their control, but if you take a step back, you may realize that you have more power than you think. Learn how to say no. Know what you have time for and what you can or cannot commit to doing. Manage your time well. Try strategies like prioritized to-do lists, breaking up big tasks into smaller ones, limiting distractions and giving yourself time buffers. And finally, avoid toxic people. This isn't always easy, but focus on connecting with positive people that add value to your life. Finally, you can accept the things that you cannot change. Some stressors cannot be changed. In these instances, the best strategy is often acceptance. Here are some tips to help with accepting things that you cannot change. Focus on what you can control, not what you can't. Think about how you can react to problems and how you can be prepared. Let go of the past and avoid comparing yourself to others. To reframe your thoughts, if you cannot avoid or change stress, you can try to change your response. You can do this by shifting your thoughts. Try to reframe the situation. Look for a more positive perspective. Look at the big picture. How important will this stressful situation be in the long run? Balance hassles and uplifts. When life feels overwhelmed by hassles, it may help you to call on your uplifts or things that make you feel happy, positive, uplifted. Change your expectations. Learn to be happy when things turn out good enough. Fight that perfectionistic part of you. Take a stress break. It can be challenging to relax when you're feeling stressed out. Luckily, here are several simple tricks you can use to take a stress break. You can get some sunshine, go outside, take a walk, laugh out loud, listen to music, and try deep breathing, yoga, or Tai Chi. All of these can be your stress breaks, and you can take them anytime during the day. Of course, it's very, very important to take care of your body. Your health is your wealth, and a healthy body helps pave the way for a healthy brain, which will ensure that you're better prepared to handle life's challenges. Follow these healthy tips for a healthy body. Be physically active. Be physically active means that you can melt away stress because it releases hormones called endorphins, which will boost your mood and well-being. Eat a healthy diet. Eating wholesome foods that are rich in antioxidants and other nutrients can help maintain your mental and physical health, and it will lead to less stress. You should also practice good sleep habits. Stress may make your sleep suffer, but you need your sleep in order for your brain and body to recharge for the next day. And finally, avoid unhealthy habits. Some people use alcohol, smoking, and even illegal drugs to cope with stress, but this will only cause you more problems. We at Humana really encourage you to connect with others. Communicating with another person makes you feel safe and understood. It also helps you stop the fight or flight response that can sometimes cause more stress and may release stress-reducing hormones. Remember, opening up about your struggles is not a sign of weakness. It's healthy and cathartic. Try to find someone that you can go to for all types of support. Not just one person, maybe several people that you know, where you could have some emotional, social, informational, and practical help. When to get help. Now, this is very serious because sometimes the stress is too much to handle on your own, and you do need additional help. If you experience any of these symptoms, please talk to your healthcare provider. If you have physical symptoms that are out of the ordinary, if you are experiencing an interference with your ability to function on a daily basis, if you feel unable to cope, if you have thoughts of suicide, and if you're starting to use alcohol and drugs as a coping mechanism, people are out here to help you. You are not alone. So let's review. Stress can be very daunting at times, but it is manageable. There are people to help you, your healthcare provider, people in your community, friends and family, and definitely us at Humana. We are trying to promote a less stressful situation for the Asian American and Pacific Islander community. So please reach out to me. My name is Dr. Maria Urbiztondo, Senior Sales Agent at Humana. Again, my phone number is in the little red box, 702-773-9277. Use it. Don't be shy. We at Humana are here to help you. Please use us as a resource. And again, thank you for listening to this presentation. Back to you, Petrania.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dr. Maria. I was really interested. And I think, I have a number of friends too who've gone through, some tough times over the past few months. And, they saw that this was coming up today, I really want to listen to it. And I love it because I was listening to your presentation, and a lot of these things are things that, we've kind of learned over the years. These are the ways to deal with it, and it's common sense, but we forget about it, right? We're in the midst of all these stressful situations and, things like, learning to say no, or just realizing what's stressing you out, or just, going out and taking care of yourself and getting enough sleep. So all these things are so important, but we forget that these basic things are key in terms of keeping our stress levels down.
That's right. Actually, for most people, you intuitively know how to take care of yourself, mentally, physically, emotionally. Most people, they have their own internal compass, and they can actually heal themselves. But sometimes there's a point it just gets to be too much stress, too much environmental things, maybe family issues, work or school issues out there, not to mention everything that's going on in the world around us with the pandemic and COVID-19, and then all the stressful situations that are arising in this world. It can be a lot. And so when people are feeling it's just starting to get a little bit out of control, that is a time you want to just nip it in the bud. Not to make it sound like a small thing to nip it in the bud, but these stressors could eventually lead to even more serious mental health crises, anxiety, depression, down the road, maybe even suicide, when people think that there's no other option for them, or it's just way too much for them to handle. And so while it's early, if you recognize these stressors in yourself, or maybe in a friend or a family member, please think about reaching out for help. The people are out there. They want you to get better. They want to help you. I know ACDC is really committed to reaching out to the AAPI community. Us too at Humana, we are committed to making sure that people everywhere have a sense of health and well-being. In fact, that is one of our priorities, our motto, human kindness in healthcare. It's not just about, taking a pill, popping in a pill and feeling better. It's also about finding that human kindness in your life and paying it forward to other people when they need the help. So definitely stress, anxiety, depression, all of those things, it can be a downward spiral if you let it get out of hand.
And I really like your take on how, you're in control of it. Sometimes we forget that we have a role to play when it comes to the amount of stress we have in our lives, and also that we are in control of getting the help we need. Because we've talked about this before, Dr. Maria, about how within the Asian American Pacific Islander community, there's just kind of this taboo, right? When it comes to seeking help, when it comes to mental health issues. And you say that that's what you're trying to tell us here, and give the resources, because it shouldn't be a taboo, right? If this is something you're dealing with, it can be very serious if you don't get help as soon as possible.
That's right. We just have to look historically from where our parents came from, maybe our grandparents, our great-grandparents, back in the old country, whether it's, China, Korea, Japan, the Philippines, India, all the Asian countries of this world. Therapy, mental illness, stress, anxiety, they did not know anything about psychiatry. psychiatry, psychology, going into therapy. It was a very taboo concept for my parents' generation, maybe my grandparents' generation and older. And then once they immigrated to the United States, those issues haven't gone away. But here in the United States, we have ways to deal with the stress, the anxiety. Modern medicine has come a long way, and definitely it is up to our generation, and the future generations to take away that stigma of reaching out for help, of going to a professional, a healthcare professional, and saying, this is what I need. I need help. Please, somebody walk this journey with me,
And I like that, you speak Spanish as well, and you promote, the fact, because people can reach out in many different languages. And I know ACDC, they've been trying to do that, give people as much access to as much information as possible in many different languages, Thai, Vietnamese, Chinese, Tagalog, because they know sometimes that's the access point, right, Dr. Maria, in terms of like wanting to seek out help, and they feel like they don't have that language ability to maybe ask the questions in English.
Yes, definitely. I can only speak for Humana, but we at Humana are multilingual. Mm-hmm. And so if anybody comes to us, wanting a plan or needing services, our members, we have interpreters on hand. We can, a phone call, or we can arrange for an interpreter. It is very important, like you said, some people, they feel more comfortable in their own language. They might know English as well, but maybe that sense of comfort and just increased understanding when it's in your own native language or mother tongue, it does sit better with people. It's very important to be inclusive. That's a big thing right now, diversity, inclusivity. But it really is an important role for all of us to realize that we are all connected. And that, what I do just doesn't affect me. It affects the people around me. It affects your family members, your friends, your coworkers. It's like the little, you throw a pebble in the pond and it ripples out, right? The ripple effect. And so most definitely inclusivity, diversity, understanding, being able to walk in somebody else's shoes. Those are themes that I think are important. And definitely, if you are experiencing something that is not promoting those issues, that might cause stress in your life. And so as we've seen, recently with the Asian American community, people are being stressed. And I think that reaching out and telling people there's help available, that really will go a long way for common understanding.
Yeah, and that's why we have you with us today. And it's been such a great resource to know that you're there. And also just want to remind people out there watching as well that today, ACDC is still holding the COVID-19 vaccination clinic. They've been doing it every Sunday and Monday now for the past almost a month now. And they're going to do it for quite a bit longer for people to come get their vaccinations at the Shanghai Plaza office of ACDC. And we have some information that we want to leave up on the screen here for a little bit, because here at 4276 Spring Mountain Road, Suite 207, it's on the second floor of the Shanghai Plaza Shopping Center, where they're holding these free COVID-19 vaccination clinic for people to come. And as Dr. Maria was saying, the importance of having people speak different languages. That's the point of having this COVID-19 vaccination clinic right in Chinatown, where people live and work. They have people who speak different languages who are offering information. Maybe the people have been kind of holding back and not wanting to get these vaccinations. Well, they're there to give you as much information, not just about the COVID-19 vaccinations, but about getting health insurance coverage as well. And I know Humana has been a big corporate partner in terms of offering this and working with ACDC to offer that. So that is still going on. So if you want to go to Shanghai Plaza today and get more information from the ACDC staff and volunteers, they'll be there to help you. And Dr. Maria, thank you so much once again for all the great information today. I know this topic is so relevant to so many of us. We have all that different levels of stress. Each day could be different, right? To the different stress that we're dealing with. So it's such a good reminder to have this help out there. And if you want to contact Dr. Maria, of course, we'll put all the information on the chat below as well. But Dr. Maria, thank you so much. Any last word for people out there today, just to start that stress-free week, hopefully as stress-free as possible, right?
Just go out there, do it, and practice human kindness.
Yes, that's the great bottom line. Thank you so much for joining us. And thank you, everyone, for joining us on this episode of Family in Focus. And we hope to see you again next week. Have a great day.